Ladies and gentlemen, when QB1 speaks, we listen. Dak Prescott has some interesting things to say as it pertains to Brian Schottenheimer being the new play caller of the Cowboys. And as always, I'm about to point out some stuff that y'all need to pay extra close attention to in this particular excerpt. Let's get right into it. Be sure to subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content on the radio. All right. Finally get to hear my boy Dak speaking out for the first time in the 2025 offseason. Let's see what Dak has to say about the hire of Brian Schottenheimer during his event for the Children's Cancer Fund. Let's get right into it.
This opportunity, obviously I've worked with him for the last couple of years, understanding the type of coach he is, the type of man he is, the way that he approaches the game. I think the best way to exemplify that is the son of a legendary football coach. He's not going to take anything about this game lightly. He enjoys the work in it, kind of old-fashioned. I'm looking forward to the grind and some things that we're going to do and he's going to add, and excited for him. I know he's ready for it. He's been an assistant for a long time, and something else I admire is the way that he went on with the interviewing process. When you've been an assistant for 25 to 30 years, I know there's a quarterback coach, I know there's a receiver coach, a D coordinator, and a safety that you can call up without them thinking twice and they're going to come work for you. But for him to go through the due diligence of getting the guys in, interviewing them, and then taking it amongst the other guys that are there and making final decisions, I think speaks highly of his approach and the way that he's going to take care of things.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There's the first little gem right there that we all need to talk about real quick. For him to specifically point out the process in which the coaches were hired, that is very interesting to me. And that was kind of loud. It's like he said something in between the lines right there as it pertains to just the process and how the process is different. And he's doing his due diligence and making sure that he's hiring the best guys for the job. Not just people that he's worked with, not just guys that he's crossed paths with before. He's hiring the best guys for the job that he's trying to accomplish for whatever vision he has for this offense. It is very clear that he has a clear and determined direction for what he wants to do with the Dallas Cowboys. Every single coach he hired has a couple of things in common. They're great player developers and they're young, innovative minds. That is the most common thread amongst all the hires for Brian Schottenheimer. And then the third thread is they're all amazing as it pertains to ground games, all right? From the offensive line coach to the coordinator to everyone involved with the offensive side of the ball, they all have damn good track records as it pertains to having efficient and effective ground games. And I think that speaks volumes, and the fact that Dak is kind of pointing out the aspect of Schotty did do his due diligence. He didn't just hire a bunch of his barn buddies. Mike McCarthy, bruh, hiring all them barn buddies, bruh. You hired the whole cast from Five Nights at Freddy's, Mike McCarthy. What the hell you got going on, man? Let's listen to what Dak got to say the rest of this.
How about you guys being able to have hard conversations with each other? How does that happen? How do you guys build that?
Yeah, I mean, I think just naturally it's kind of already happened. I know he alluded to, the interception at practice and me giving it back to him. And, it was a great moment of I understand and I appreciate that sense of standard. We're not accepting one play to come out. But in my point, hey, where do I get my risk versus reward? But that was a conversation that was very unpleasant at the front end. But it had to be addressed at some point or another, and it was immediately after practice. And it was two grown men coming to an understanding and appreciating each other for the competitiveness and the standard. And so,
ooh, I like that. So that right there, those of y'all that have such a big issue with number 4, and we're going to get into that issue because a lot of people feel like Dak Prescott needs to be replaced. He's replaceable. He doesn't impact winning. He's not a winner. He's not the answer. He's the reason we have to sit here and watch Philly win a championship, even though we all know that Howie Roseman is the real MVP of that Philly operation, right? That is very, very encouraging to hear, because that to me lets me know it's not going to be a Mike McCarthy situation where he's watching guys do boneheaded stuff like, oh, I don't know, touch a punt return and completely mess up a possession and cause us to lose a game like one of the guys did last season for the Cowboys. Not going to call him out specifically, but doing silly stuff. Brian Schottenheimer, if he isn't afraid to call out QB1, the $60 million man, he's definitely not going to be afraid to call out the last dude on the roster. And that was one of the things with Mike McCarthy I just couldn't get down with. It seems like that he was fostering an environment of mediocrity. It's like he was okay with guys doing the wrong things. He was okay with running Zeke out there over and over again with no production. He was okay with doing things over and over and over again until they hopefully worked one time. Mike McCarthy was okay with that, and it seems like that environment, that culture that he was fostering just wasn't the right one if you want to have a culture of accountability. And the Dallas Cowboys, more than any organization in the National Football League, the Dallas Cowboys need accountability more than anything. Accountability is literally going to be the most important aspect of whether this team will be successful or not going forward. That's accountability for the players, accountability for the coaching staff, accountability for the front office and the jobs that they're doing. So as long as everyone is being held accountable for the parts they play in this Dallas Cowboys circus, then I think that we will see a better product be put out on the field, because that to me has been probably the biggest thing missing from this team. You don't lead the NFL in penalties 3 or 4 seasons in a row when accountability is on the table. That to me lets me know that there is no accountability. There's no fear of making mistakes. There's no fear of doing the wrong things. Brian Schottenheimer is about to pull Dak out of practice. He about to pull him out of a practice rep because he threw an interception. That right there, that fosters fear of making mistakes. And that's how you want your team to practice. Yes, the risk reward thing is cool, but at the end of the day, you can't turn the ball over if you want to make a deep playoff run. That's been shown. Jalen Hurts, as much stuff as we could talk about him, he doesn't turn the ball over a whole lot in the playoffs. And Dak isn't just a turnover machine, but he does give you one interception pretty much every playoff run, right? So accountability, very important. Love to hear that Brian Schottenheimer isn't pulling any punches with QB1 or any of the other guys. It doesn't seem like he's going to be pulling punches. So I absolutely love to hear that, because I think that is going to be the key of the season. If they have any other team mantras and doing all that stuff like Mike McCarthy like to do, if they do any of that, accountability, forget being rooted and all. Accountability needs to be the main word for the Cowboys. Accountability for Micah Parsons saying that he's a leader, but then saying that he's ready to jump ship on his troops. Accountability for guys if they throw an interception in a big moment. Get in his ass. Get in his ass right there on the sideline. We don't care. We want to see the team at least look like they're trying. To me, that's been the biggest difference between why the Cowboys organization gets so much more heat than an organization like the 49ers, which really they're in similar situations where they have not won a Super Bowl in 30 plus years. The difference is the ownership group at least looks like they're trying. They at least make splash signings in free agency. They at least will make those trades. They at least will sign their guys. They at least will do things quickly. They at least look like they're trying. That's why they get so much more grace than the Dallas Cowboys, because from the coaching staff to Jerry, it doesn't look like guys are trying at times. And sometimes the players don't look like they're trying sometimes. So accountability. Chat, say that with me. Everybody in the comments section. First line of defense. Accountability. That is the word for this entire offseason, for this entire season. Accountability across the board. From Jerry, Steven, Micah, Dak, CD, all these guys. Accountability. Get on their asses if they deserve for their asses to be got on. Pause. And if Dak is throwing interceptions, I want to see Brian Schottenheimer light his ass up, because Dak is too good of a quarterback to be doing that. And for that to be accepted, for it to be okay. Accountability, right?
I'm excited for things like that to grow, and not only just me in the quarterback position, but throughout every position on our team.
Yep, and I'm glad he said that, bro. Dak, he knows the team needs it. That right there. This piece right here and the piece about the coaching staff, those are the two things that just stood out to most to me in this clip. The fact that he's saying the rest of the roster definitely needs accountability. Not just me. I want him to get on everybody's ass. This is what you want to hear from Dak, because at the end of the day, y'all can say, oh, we want Dak to be like Troy and yelling at the offensive lineman on the sideline. First of all, they were in the middle of a losing season when Troy was doing that on that famous clip. Second of all, brother, it's 2025. The same way y'all say that coaches can't handle players the same way, you think Dak can go in there and be ripping dudes to shreds and doing all that? You think it hits the same? No. You need the person that's supposed to be doing that, the person that's supposed to be the chief of all the Indians, the head coach. You need him holding people accountable. And then that allows your leaders to hold the guys that they are leading accountable. But it starts from the top. If your coach isn't holding guys accountable, you can't expect the players to try to hold guys accountable. It's not going to work like that, man. You're going to have a clusterbuck like we seen with this team last season. You're going to have guys arguing on the sidelines like we seen DeMarcus Lawrence telling Michael Parsons to shut the F up, he talking too much. We need accountability. And Dak knows we need accountability. And I think more than anything, That's what I hope happens this season. That's what I hope changes. Out of anything else, we don't see anything else change. I hope we at least see that factor change, the accountability factor, and guys being held to a certain standard, and that being visible, that being a tangible aspect of the Dallas Cowboys. Because otherwise, we're going to end up being one of the most penalized teams in the league, making the most boneheaded mistakes at the biggest moments, and having the most embarrassing possible blunders. That's what's going to continue to happen until this team learns some accountability. I know I just hammered that word in y'all head, but accountability, damn it, man, and how them Cowboys.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.